I have a question for you. Are you one of the 50% of people who really lose their self-confidence as they're aging? Well, today I have 5 practices for you to help you get that self-esteem back and really get self-confident again. And I really can't wait to show you this, because by the end of this video, you'll know what to do today. So let's get into this. Let's start with tip number 1, and you're thinking that you're invisible. But that's just what you're thinking. You really are not invisible. Now, I remember when Women's World is a very popular women's magazine, especially for women of a certain age, and they interviewed me because they thought that I was championing anyway, women to feel more confident through my YouTubes. And I said, you know what, yeah, I think that for a lot of women, they think they're invisible. And the reason that they think they're invisible, see if you can relate to some of these. You're the older person at the job. All the younger people are coming through and they're kind of hanging out with each other, and you're just feeling a little bit lost. Or maybe you actually have retired and you're feeling irrelevant. You're feeling that you don't have a purpose anymore. And all of these things, they're negative thoughts, they're in your head, and you just have to sort of get out of that shell and start to realize that you are not invisible. You are absolutely, totally visible, and you deserve to be seen. Now, besides changing the script in our own minds, sometimes we have to change the script with other people's minds, and I've had this happen so many times. I guess it's because of my silver hair and wrinkles, but anyway, I'll give you a little story about this. Like one time, this has happened a few times, but one time in particular, oh my gosh, I had some makeup foundation, and I realized when I got it in the light, it was really the wrong color. So I went back to a department store and I said, well, first of all, I had to wait because this young person was serving everybody else. I felt so invisible, but I didn't say anything. I just thought, you know what, I may have more time on my hands than they do. But anyway, finally she got to me. And I said, I'd like to exchange this foundation. I haven't used it, and I know you have a good exchange policy. She just looked at me and she said, oh, I'll give you a 1-800 number you can call and they'll tell you what to do with this. And I'm like, 1-800 number? Like, I thought that wasn't your policy. But anyway, I took the 1-800 number and I went over to the corner in the store still, and I dialed the 1-800 number. I was literally on hold for 20 minutes. And then it was like a light bulb went off in my head. And I went, I've just been brushed off. Like, somebody has looked at me, thought, oh, she doesn't have a lot of money, she's older, or she's not as fun to talk to as the younger. I don't know what her deal was, but I just went, wait a minute. So I did. I went to the manager. This time it was an important thing to do. And I went to the manager and I said, don't you have an exchange policy for this? This is a very expensive foundation and I want a different color. The woman was about my age and she was appalled. She said, I am so sorry that this happened to you. Let me go and get the right color for you. And in no time, I didn't have to sit on 1-800 number. I didn't have to wait. She had the right foundation in my hands and it was done. So the other thing, yeah, let's work on our own mindset about being invisible, but also let's stand up for ourselves. It doesn't matter whether we're in a car repair place or at a beauty counter. We need to be seen. We deserve to be seen. We're older and wiser, and in a lot of cases, we really have to remember that younger people should be kind of respecting their elders. Okay, so that was a bit of a rant, but put in the comments if you agree with me, and I'm going to calm things down a little bit. I'm going to take a sip of my Earl Grey tea, and I really hope that you have your favorite beverage with you. We've got a great community here. It's really growing too. And thank you so much for being here. And of course, if you haven't subscribed yet, there's a button down there. Don't forget to click on the notification bell. All right, so you're starting to feel like you don't want to feel invisible anymore. But what are you wearing? You know, for a lot of us, I know, I'll tell you a little story about this a little later on too. We're wearing black. Or we're wearing clothes that are, you know, got a little bit of weight gain. And so what we're doing is we're wearing oversized clothes thinking, oh, that's hiding my body. It's not. It's actually making you look bigger. And wearing black all the time, well, you're going to kind of fade into the background and you're even going to feel a little bit more invisible wearing it. It's time to wear some color. And that's what I'm wearing today. I dare to wear red. And I'll tell you something, when I wear red or pinks or blues or greens, I just feel like I'm lit up. I don't feel like I'm a shrinking violet and just shrinking into the background. I feel good. I feel like, you know, wearing these colors of the rainbow, they really help us with our confidence and our self-esteem. And as far as sizing is concerned, wear your size. Maybe a little bit looser, you know, maybe a half a size or a size larger, just so it's a little bit loose. We don't want to have that bodycon kind of shrinking all around every wrinkle that every bulge that we have right in our tummies. But, you know, this is a way to really light up your days and also light up the people around you as well. Now, some of you may be thinking to yourself, why does Heather know so much about self-esteem and getting back self-confidence? You know, she was a model, so what's she talking about? And oh my gosh, yes. When I decided to have kids, what happened to me was, of course, I called my modeling agency. I said, you know, I'm not going to be a model anymore. And I had 2 kids. I went from a size 0 to a size, well, a mom size, right? And all of a sudden, my life was so different. You know, like I used to be booked every single day and I would have the makeup artists, you know, doing just like what you see on TV and the hair people and all that kind of thing. And all of a sudden, I felt like I wasn't important anymore. Yes, I was a great mom and I loved being a mom, but that part of me was gone. And so when I ventured out and I wasn't a size 0 anymore and I wasn't wearing all that makeup like they used to put on me, I felt invisible. I felt like, you know what, like this is it, I'm here now, this is where I belong, like 50% self-confidence drop. We'll talk about maybe 90% self-confidence drop. And then one day I just thought to myself, and it took a while, it really did. Like my kids were growing up, I had 2 girls, and I thought to myself, wow, like what am I showing them? I'm just showing them, I would look in the mirror and go, oh my God, I'm looking fat, and oh, look at me. And I had this negative outlook. And that was no way for me to move on. And it was no way to treat my kids. So there's the message there on how I just started building myself back up. And whether you have kids or you don't, do it for yourself. And don't forget, at the end of this video, I'm going to have a quote for you, and it might be something you might want to jot down and help you with your confidence building. But for now, let's take a look at tip number 3. It's all about your posture. Now, I know for a lot of us, osteoporosis could be setting in, but I just noticed that a lot of times older people, they start to curl their arms in and they slouch a little bit. And then when you look at younger people, you know, they got their back straight and their head up high. And I think that that's an important thing to do. And there are posture braces and things like that out there to help you. They go underneath your clothes. I'll even put a link for them underneath. But, you know, it's something that we have to be cognizant of. Because if you're slouching over, you're not feeling really great about yourself. It's something to do with the body and the mind. But do you remember there was a commercial not too long ago that was on, and it was a beer commercial, and this guy was just sitting there with his beer, and he was like, I'm the most interesting person in the room. And I thought to myself, you know what? I want to be the most interesting person in the world. I want to walk into a room and feel good about myself. And I think that you can too. So, with all of your background, with your wisdom, walk into that room, hold your head up straight and curl your shoulders back and just think to yourself, I'm the most interesting person in the world. It's not about ego. It's just about a mindset. And you know what? You've got this. Okay, I really feel like we're getting going here now. Can you feel it? Put in the comments if this is starting to resonate with you and you're just starting to feel, like this could actually work. I could have a little bit more self-confidence. And for now, let's look at tip number 4. This tip is all about owning who you are. In all of the world, in all of history, there'll never be another you. So, think about the achievements that you want to have and think about all the achievements that you have done. And as you're doing this, especially if you're moving forward, you might find that some of your friends, they're kind of drifting away. Like perhaps you love to travel. And you talk about your travel, not too much, but hey, I'm going away, and your friends are kind of not relating to you anymore. Or do you remember when you had kids? This really happened to me, and this might really relate to you. And all of a sudden, those people that used to hang around in bars and be social drinkers and that sort of thing that didn't have the kids, they just didn't want to hang out with you anymore. And you felt like, well, why don't they like you? It's not that they don't like you. It's just that you're moving into a different season of your life. And this really happens as we age as well. We're enjoying our golden years maybe and traveling, but they're not. So they kind of fade away a little bit. There's so many other instances where this happens. Maybe you've really retired and they haven't, and they don't relate to you as much. So instead of just sort of feeling like people don't like me as much, what's wrong with me? Whoa, the self-confidence is going to go way down, right? The self-esteem. Instead of doing that, there's a saying, find your tribe. Find like-minded people. Maybe you are traveling and you find somebody who lives close to you and they love to travel. So those are like-minded people. Or, pickleball is a big thing right now. And maybe you love exercise, you love getting out there, and you join, just a community, maybe pickleball team, and you find, oh my gosh, these are like people. They really want to stay in shape. Or even you want to get back to art. So you join a painting class and you find all these artistic people who are just like you. And there's a way to just, don't worry about the people who don't like you anymore. Don't worry about the people who, don't seem to want to visit you as much anymore. Go find the other people. Find your tribe. They're out there waiting for you. Now, I'm not finished yet, but it's time for that quote. And you might even want to write this one down. All right, here's the quote for you. Confidence is not, they will like me. Confidence is, I'll be fine, even if they don't. And that's by Unknown, but isn't that the truth? Absolutely. My next tip is just take stock of yourself. Do you remember when you were a teenager and you had all these hopes and dreams? Well, look at everything you've accomplished. I mean, for most of us, we got our license, right? We got a car. We got a job. We were accomplished in that. We had children. We did our parenting to the best of our ability, and we were accomplished in that. And it just goes on and on and on. And maybe right now you've got a little nest egg. You've got your own home. There's just so many things that you can be proud of yourself for. And all those things when you were a teenager. Wow. Just think about that person, when you were like 14 years old, and now look at yourself now. That person would be really proud, and that's a good reason for you to have self-confidence. You truly are a miracle. So hold your head up high and be like that most interesting man in the room. And even if you're a woman, right? Anyway, in this community, we all should be holding our head up high because that's why we're here. We're here to feel inspired, empowered, and to share, a lot in the community here, in the comments. And I'm just so happy that you're here. I truly, truly am. So with that, stay empowered, everybody, and I'll see you next week.